Mr. President. Yesterday, why did you publicly threaten quarantine on New York, New Jersey, parts
I
of
didn't do
Connecticut?
that at all. Read the statement. Read the statement. Read what I said. I said we're going to look into possibly quarantine. I didn't say we're going to quarantine. I looked at it as a possibility because a lot of our professionals suggested quarantine. I said we're going to look at it. We then looked at it. You see, who are you with, Bloomberg, right? I can't imagine that. Let me just tell you, I didn't threaten it. I don't go around threatening. What happened is people, professionals, very good professionals, love the idea of doing that because that's sort of the ultimate in distancing. You can't do. They didn't want New Yorkers where they're having a problem necessarily going down to Florida where they have less of a problem. So the concept of quarantine was thrown out to me. Really would love to do it. They would love to do it. And I thought it was too much to do because the people are doing a great job with it. Also, it's very hard to enforce.
But
Okay,
by
please,
speaking
thank
about
you.
it publicly, by speaking about it publicly and letting it be known that it's a consideration, do you think that you maybe frightened some
No,
Americans?
I think we
and-
made people aware to stay in your houses and do good. Now we did an advisory. It's a strong advisory. The governors are running the advisory, the three governors, New York, New Jersey, Connecticut. And I think we did a great thing. But all I did yesterday, as you know, you can see it, you can read it, you can read, and you can see very simply that I said that we are looking into it. And then before the end of the evening, substantially, we decided to go with the advisory, which frankly I liked better from the beginning. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have two questions. The first is, you've said repeatedly that you think that some of the equipment that governors are requesting, they don't actually need. You said New York might not need 30,000. You said it on Sean Hannity's Fox News. You said
you know,
that
why don't you people act? Let me ask you.
You said
why
some
don't
states.
Why don't you act in a little more positive? It's always trying to
My
get
question
you,
to you
get you. And you know what? That's why nobody trusts the media anymore.
My
That's
question
why
to you is,
people,
how is that going to
excuse
impact?
me, you didn't hear me. That's why you used to work for the Times and now you work for somebody else. Look, let me tell you something. Be nice. Don't
Mr.
be
President, my
threatening.
question
Don't
is-
be threatening. Be nice. Go
My
ahead.
question is, how is that going to impact how you fill these orders for ventilators or for masks? Your
not gonna
views that
impact.
you're not going to, it's not going to
We're
impact you at
producing
all.
tremendous numbers of ventilators. We're doing a great job on it. Mike Pence, our vice president, has headed up the task force, which has been incredible, the job they've done. We have everybody in the White House working on it. We have everybody in the country is working on this in one way or the other. The fact is, we've done a great job of delivering. You've seen the biggest people in the business. I mean, there's nobody even close to this group of people. We had a meeting at 3 o'clock. It lasted for a long time. It was a great meeting with the generals and with everybody else, and they have done a fantastic job. I'm just saying this. If they're holding, let me give you one example. We sent thousands of generators to New York. They were put into a warehouse, a New York warehouse that happened to be located, interestingly, in Edison, New Jersey. They were given to New York, and we then went to other places, also giving thousands of ventilators. The people in New York never distributed the generators. We said, why didn't you distribute them? Now, you have to understand, they have New York people working in those warehouses. They knew they had them. So we said, why didn't you distribute them? I hope they've distributed them now, but maybe they didn't need them so badly. But just so you know, we're all, you, me, everybody, we're all on the same team. You know, when journalists get up, and you're a journalist, a fine journalist, when journalists get
from
up
Sean Hannity.
and ask questions that are so threatening.
I was quoting
we're all
you
on the
directly
same
from your
team.
interview with Sean Hannity.
Take a look at my interview. What I want to do is, if there is something wrong, we have to get to the bottom of it. When I hear face masks go from 10,000 to 300,000, and they constantly need more, and the biggest man in the business is like shocked. He knows all about the virus, by the way. He's not surprised by that. He knows all about it. He shouldn't be surprised. He should say, well, that's standard, because this is really a very tough disease. This is really a very tough virus to handle. Okay,
Mr.
please, go
President,
ahead.
Mr. President, my second
Go ahead.
question.
That's enough.
Is,
Thank you very much.
Mr. President, my second
Please, please. That's enough. That's enough. That's not fair to your other reporters. It's not fair. You had a long time, a long question. If we have time, I'll get back to you for your second question. Is that okay? All right. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Again, please. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President.
You were next. He was very nice in doing it, though, nevertheless. Go ahead.
Thank you,
Which
sir.
is unusual for CNN.
Two quick questions. First of all, during this 30-day additional period, do you anticipate at all relaxing those restrictions by region during these additional
I
30
don't
days?
think
or no?
so. It's a great question, actually. I don't think so. And I asked that the same. I said, how about Nebraska? How about Idaho? How about Iowa? And you know what? Those people are so great. The whole Midwest, I don't think they want to be in that position, actually. And probably, I was given a pretty strong look by these two people. They said, we don't like that idea. So, we're relying on them. They're the best in their profession, and they didn't like the idea.
And secondly, sir, I want to ask you about
And
some
we
comment-
could do it, but I don't think it would be good.
Thank you, sir. I'd also like to ask you about some comments you made on Friday. You were talking about governors of different states, and you said, I want them to be appreciative. You also said, if they don't treat you right,
But I didn't say
don't
that.
call.
I didn't
These are
say
direct,
that. No, it's
direct
such
quotes, sir.
Excuse me. Ready? Take a look at what I said. I want them to be appreciative of me, okay? And then you cut it off because it's fake news.
You and
CNN.
of your administration,
Listen,
absolutely.
Please, let me just finish. You just said it again, and the answer's a lie. That
I could
your
read you
statement
your
is a
full
lie.
comments,
Let
sir, if
me
that
just
would
say,
be
look,
easier.
your statement and your response and your answer is a lie. Because here's the story. You ready? I said, I want you to be appreciative of me, and then you go on, and then I go on, and you cut it off. But it says
You said,
because
I
when
want
you're
them
not,
to be appreciative. I don't want them to say things that aren't true. I want them to be appreciative. We've done a great job. And I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about Mike Pence, the task force. I'm talking about
Thank
FEMA,
you.
the Army Corps of Engineers.
Thank you.
But then you went on to say, if they don't treat you right, I don't call. He's a different type of person,
I don't
you
call.
said, referring to
no,
the
I
vice
don't
president.
call. No, I
Right.
don't call the governor of Washington
Why in
now.
this time of-
But Mike Pence calls, and the head of FEMA calls. I don't stop them. Did I ever ask you to do anything negative, Mike, to Washington, the state of Washington? Michigan, I love that state. That's one of my favorite places in the whole world, Michigan. And I'm so proud of what's happened with the auto industry. It's coming back to Michigan. No, I don't have to call because I'm probably better off not, because he's a failed presidential candidate. He's a nasty person. I don't like the governor of Washington. So you know who calls? I get Mike Pence to call. I get the head of FEMA to call. I get the admiral to call. But what you didn't say, see, you started it off and you talked about, I have to be appreciated. But then when you read the rest, it said, because if you don't appreciate, you're not respecting these incredible people, the two admirals, you're not appreciating FEMA and the Army Corps of Engineers who built 2,900 beds in 3.5 days, and you're not appreciating all of the work that's been done, and you're not appreciating these incredible people from private enterprise that are delivering things in numbers that nobody's ever seen. See, and that's why people aren't watching CNN very much anymore. That's why they don't like it. That's why your ratings are no good. Because you, even after knowing the truth for days now, you bring up the old lie. Read the rest of your question, the rest of your statement, you didn't put in. You have to put that in. And it said in there, FEMA, and it said in there, Army Corps of Engineers, because when they disrespect me, they're disrespecting our government. And you know what? I don't mind if I'm disrespected, but they can't disrespect the Army Corps of Engineers and FEMA. Okay.
Why is the lack of
Please, go ahead.
something that's important in the midst
I want them to appreciate the incredible job we're doing. We are doing a job the likes of which has never been done before. And there are a couple of people that know that. But for political reasons, let's say they're Democrats. They don't want to give this administration credit, and that's okay. But I don't have to deal with them. But our vice president does deal with them. Please, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr.
But that's why
President.
CNN is not trusted anymore. They are not trusted. They are fake news. Remember that. Go ahead. Yes, you are. Go ahead. Money. Because what I want to talk about is two things. Number one is saving lives, and number two is bringing our economy back, okay? But I think we're going to do very well. That whole money, a lot of it's coming back. Please.
Mr. President, thank you. Earlier this afternoon, you had tweeted that there are on average 8.5 million Americans tuned into these daily press briefings. Yet there are some networks out there that are, concerned about taking these briefings.
No, I know exactly what you're saying. No, I've read that.
What do you say to
Well,
these
I've read that
detractors?
CNN doesn't want to cover them. I've read that, except they can't help them because the ratings are so high. If the ratings were low, they wouldn't be here. This man wouldn't be here. In 100 years, you could bet your life that he would never be here with CNN and all their cameras if they're bad, because we help their ratings. We lift up their ratings because their ratings are very low. But for the most part, I haven't heard that. I will say the Washington Post has a drive on not to go to the President of the United States news conference because, frankly, so many people are watching. We're getting the word out. We're getting the accurate word out. And a lot of people are happy about it. and a lot of people aren't. But they should be happy. When I have the general, when I have Seema, and when I have Tony, and when I have our incredible, these are all like people that have become big stars, okay? But they've done a great job. But Deborah has done a fantastic, all of these people, they don't want to be stars. You know what they want? They want to win. They want to win the battle against the virus. They've been fighting this stuff their whole life. Between Ebola and swine flu and, I don't know, I'm not sure I'd love your life, but that's what you like, right? That's what they do. They fight disease. And you know what? There's nobody that does it better. But I think the American public, ultimately, they should be the decider. It's like, if they don't want to watch, they shouldn't watch. And we shouldn't have bigger ratings than The Bachelor, or, as the New York Times said, we have Monday Night Football type ratings. Now, I didn't say that. I have no idea what they are, in a sense, but I know that the Times, they say it's all the news that's fit to print. I say it's all the news that's not fit to print, because I think they are not honest people. But that's okay. But they can't help it. But even they said that the ratings are like Monday Night Football ratings, and that these are like Bachelor finale. That's their end. When the big deal happened, I have no idea what happened because I'm too busy working on this. Somebody will tell me what happened. So, no, I think it's terrible. When they don't want the President of the United States to have a voice, you're not talking about democracy any longer. Please. Thank you very much.